So this video is on my Oase Biotech Premium 80,000, which is same as any Oase drum filter really, the drum filter mechanism. It has not been working for about 3 months now, and it's not that there's no particularly wrong with it. I hope we'll find out in this video. The reason being is that what happened is it just stopped working properly, and I just gave up with it, drained the tank, brought the fish in here because I wanted to do that anyway. And then one of the people that have got a similar filter to this, that I look after their pond, had the same issue that this one's having, and then I sort of looked into it, called the dealer, all sorts of things, and found out how to actually fix the issue, and now I know how to fix it on this one. So let's see if it still has the issue, because I literally haven't turned it on in quite some time. So let's switch it on. There we go. So as you can hear and see, the drum's struggling. It's not turning the drum filter, and then it goes straight to error 44, which means the motor can't turn the drum. And if I open it up, which I'll do in a second, we'll find that the drum is pretty tight to turn, and I'm not entirely convinced that the motor isn't weakening up, because it's never been particularly easy to turn. So the motor may be getting weak, but the fix for it is incredibly easy. So if you have this problem with your Oase drum filter, we'll show you how to fix it right now. So let me take this off and have a look at it. So there we go, let's have a go at fixing it. I've took the lid off, and I've took that off, so that comes off of there. No problem. So these drum filters are actually quite a pleasure, as drum filters go, in fact as any filter goes. They're actually quite a pleasure to work on. Every last bit of it were really thought through to make it actually easier for a normal person to work on. And I quite enjoy doing it, to be honest. So the first thing I need to do is get this off. Annoyingly I can't do it on camera because I'm holding it, but it's basically just press these in and pull it up. In fact, I might be able to do it on camera, you never know. It is dry. So, and then grab some of them. Oh, look at that. It's a bit tight. Nope, let me put the camera down. Right, there we go, that's that thing out. So we've got a little bit more room to actually get to the drum filter. The next thing I need to take off is this thing, which is quite easy to do. You just unclip this from here, which is good clips, but they do come off, and then out of there, and that come out of the way. And then I need to take the motor itself off, which is not a difficult task. What I'll do is I'll just get grips on that and a spanner on a nut on the back here, and it's just two, so there's one there and one there, then the motor comes out. So I'll get on with that. So there we go, I took them two nuts and bolts out of there with the grips and the spanner, and out of there and there, and that is literally what's holding the motor in. So now the motor will just pop out of its little orifice and sit nicely on there. So while I'm doing this as well, I'm not saying that these motors can't go, they can, and if it does go, you better hope you've got warranty on it still, because they are stupidly expensive. Why they've made them that expensive I don't know, because that sort of expensive replaceable parts sort of put me off buying things a little bit, but generally they don't go very often. I've never seen one actually go, but the point is that the fact that it may need this doing could be because it is on its last legs, but like, it's insanely tight actually. That does not want to turn. Wow, that does not want to turn. Yeah, that is really tight. So it should move both ways quite easily. Yep, that is wow. Oh, there we go. That's a bit freer now, but it's still not as easy as it really should be. It should be like, it should jump, I mean not like free flow around, but it should be quite a bit easier than that. But I'll show you what's actually up with it. So now it's taking the screens out, which is easy to do without the motor in, because you can move it both ways. So I'll just chuck these down in that way. So inside here, I don't know if I can get the camera to see it actually. So in there, look, right here, there's a little pin, and what we do is we take the little lever back like that. I don't know if you can see it, see if it'll zoom in a little. So we pull that little ring out of the way because the ring's stopping it coming out. Pull this pin out like that, put that in his pocket so I don't lose it, and then that's the drive pin. It just pulls out quite easily. This one might come out a little bit easier because I have had it out before, but they do generally come out easy enough to do it by hand, or you know, just put grips on it. It's not something you've got to force out. So now that's the drum detached, whatever you want to call it, like that. And then, I don't know if I've got to take this out. I took this one out last time, but I think I might get away without it, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what I do need to take off. I need to take off the rubber tray. So, I'm going to take that rubber tray off, which is just a Oase clip round here. I'm going to take that out and I'm going to have a look whether I need to take that off or not, and if I do, I'll come back to you. So there we go, I've took the rubber catchment tray off. It's just in the bottom because I couldn't get it through. So what I'm going to do is take the drum off now, and I think it should just come past that. Oops. There we go, that's the drum, straight out like that. Lay that down, and that's the catchment tray that I just took off. It's literally just an Oase clip. It's just quite easy to take off. And now I'll show you what the trouble is. So the trouble is this thing here. So this rubber here, it's not quite as bad as it were on the other drum filter, which is worrying, but what it wants is greasing up. So there's a grease you can get for these, it's got a little bit on it still, this one, but it were obviously stuck on it quite well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around it with a cleaning thing, get it all clean, this rubber. I don't particularly recommend taking it out. It is easier to clean if you take it out, but these are also easy to break off when they're a little bit brittle. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm just going to run around it, clean it all, and then grease it all up, and then put some grease around the this bit here, which also rubs against the gasket, and then it should be fine. It should work after that with a bit of luck. So let's get on with greasing it. So that's the grease that I'm using to do this. Well, I'm covering up the price actually, but there you go. It was $4.99 for one of these little tubes. But the tube seems to last quite a bit, really. So I only used about half of one of these tubes on the other drum filter. I don't think you need that much, and I don't think you want to put too much on either. So there we go. I'll give it a bit of a clean. I haven't put the grease on it yet. It was nowhere near as mucky as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be quite rough. The other one I did was a lot of like lime scale build up on it, and it was rough. I'll be so annoyed if it's the motor that's packed in, but anyway, I'm hoping, because it was stuck when I did it, so I'm hoping a good bit of grease on it, a good bit of grease on that. That's probably just what it needs, and then it'll be back to working. I'm really hoping so. I'm not in the mood to be buying a new motor at all. Right, let's get it greased up. So there we go, I've got the grease all over that. I've pretty much just gone for the sod it, get it caked on kind of job, and hoping for the best. And then I've got it also all around the actual gasket. God, what am I even pointing at? All around the gasket, down there. So it's as greasy as it's ever going to get, and if it doesn't slip around there easy, then I've got big problems. Yeah. Right, let's get the drum back in and see how we go on. So we've got to put the pin back in there, and I greased that up as well, and it feels a lot better. It doesn't exactly fly around, but it just feels like it's moving lovely and smooth. Lovely. I really hope I did it. Let's get that screen in, get the motor on. There we go, all nice and together. Let's try it. One thing I don't like about Oase drum filters is that you have to have the lid on to see the drum spin. That's a bit irritant. I know you can just put a magnet on here, but I haven't got one powerful enough. One day I'll get one. Right, let's close the lid. So when I did the last drum, it still error 44'd a couple of times before it actually started to work again, and then after it started working it were fine. How do you do it? I think you hold that down. Yep, so it's going to error 44 again. And it's just a case of keep trying it. It may need water in it. Might not be a bad idea to fill it up with water. I think I'll fill it with water because I don't really want the pressure pump to be running too much. Right, I'll do that. Right, I put some water on and it actually just set off on its own. So it's got a bit of water in the bottom and it's still error 44 in, so let's just keep trying. Last time, like I said, it did this with the other drum filter I did this on, and you think, oh no. And then eventually it just started to go. So I think rather than making you watch this, I'll just tell you how many times it does it before I actually get it to go. It's not completely full yet either, so there's that, but I don't think it matters that it's not full of water. What a pain. See, if I had a magnet so I could take this lid off, I'd be able to just spin it as well. That'd be nice. Can't get it to dry. Right, let's have a play with it. So after literally an hour of me trying to get this motor to work, removing it and trying to get any signs of life in it, it were working, so it were buzzing, but it weren't actually turning over. It just obviously kept getting worse and worse, so the motor's broke basically. This video was actually filmed a few months ago, just before Christmas, and I ended up just getting so annoyed with the drum filter I left it until now, and I've actually fixed the issue with the motor, and that will be coming up in the next video because this video was already getting a bit too long, and I thought the point of cleaning it and all that were quite important, and greasing it up, because that were the solution to the other Oase drum filter that I repaired. But on this one, obviously, it was the motor as well. Probably the two combined killed the motor. Right, there we go. I guess that's the end of this video. I doubt I'll post it, but we'll see. So there we go. Bloody fish. I don't know why people have them.